the dark. Um, I just wanted to say, in all the wild, crazy crap going on, if you would just sit for 10 minutes a day in silence. Even I have a hard time doing it because going through the Black Night of the Soul and all that for the last 9 years has been an incredible journey of learning who I am for real instead of who I was expected to be or who I had become because of the life choices I made. Our life choices were just that. They were just choices. They were experiences. Sometimes we stay in them too long because we're very loving and giving people. But there comes a time where you have to take this time alone and spend it in silence with God, the creator, source. Um, Reach out. I like to see my a white light emitting from my crown and reaching far out into space into the central sun. There are two stratospheres to bust through and a couple of shields. That's what we have to get through now to get to source. And I'm telling you to do it. Reach out and you get out there to that central sun. And that's where you'll get your golden light to revamp your life and your energy. And I like to see myself coming back and I start spinning like a kind of like a ballerina or something, but and letting that gold energy that's coming through me from the central sun also be shared with the universe. And I send these swirls of love out in light, and it can be gold and pink or whatever you see as your love light, but remember the gold. And then I see it as I'm coming down through the atmosphere again, and I fill the whole earth, the whole atmosphere around earth. And then I go into the earth and fill everything in the earth so that it will, the people of earth, the animals and the plant life will get this energy coming from both directions for them. And it'll settle everyone a little bit during these high energy times, especially. And then I like to see myself sit for a few minutes with that gold light and go through all the, tap into the ley lines. If you can find a map on any, oh, go ask Iris or whatever, the internet. Type it in, you'll find something. I found out that I am sitting on a hub almost of multiple ley lines coming together and spreading out and branching out in different directions. So utilize that information and sit there and see your golden light also being shared with all the ley lines and with the earth. And I always ground myself with earth. I always see your energy go down into the earth about, you can go 6 inches, 10 inches, but I like to go a little deeper, and I like to tell Mother I love her and I'm here and would you please, ground me. And then you'll see this brown energy come up and, kind of stop at your knees. So you are grounded, well grounded with Mother Earth, and your energy follows back through, the light does. And fill yourself with the white light of God, Goddess, all that is, and the golden light from the central sun, from whence you are really from. And allow yourself to be a part of this spiritual phenomena that's happening right now with the earth and the people and God, source, and Goddess, source. The Mother Goddess is here, and she is standing tall. She's got big shoulders, and she's got the most, I have met other deities, I have met other entities that are higher vibration. Nothing compares to the Mother Goddess. She is the epitome of nothing but unconditional love. And she's here now, and she's helping. This is a beautiful and most magical time for all of us to be here We are meant to be who we are, whether we're artists or writers or speakers or spiritual gurus, whatever it is. You know, you could, an athletic person, you know, a sports person. Maybe you're going to introduce new sports where it's more of teamwork instead of one person getting the whole glory and all that. This is a time where we are questioning ourselves so much. Who are we? What are we? What do we really want? Well, you ask yourself that and you think, what do I really want? You know, what if I had to tell God what kind of world I wanted right now? I would want a world that made room for everyone. The bad people, the good people, not too many of the bad ones though. There's some really horrendous ones out there that need to go, in my opinion. We'll leave that to the universe. They're probably tired of hearing me talk about it anyway. And so what else would I want? Well, I would want us to teach education in a format that makes children close to the earth, gardeners. And I would want them to have meditation, and I would want them to have mindfulness. And that would come with a really good martial arts form, kung fu or jujitsu. They all have that form of discipline and mindfulness. And I don't know about you, but I would just as soon all my children be very happy and knowing that they could protect themselves if they ever needed to. And as they grew up, because I see this through our whole education system, all the way through college, and starting at first grade or kindergarten. But also to be gardeners and to work with the ground itself, in the land, and to work in other formats of farming, which can be hydroponics and indoor for home usage. I would love to see people stop being afraid of each other. Stop being afraid of differences. I always loved having dinner parties. And I would have these dinner parties, and I would always have a variety of people that were friends in my life. Different types of people, though. Every now and then my dad would say, Barney, all your friends are weird. I said, the only thing that's similar with all my friends is they all have a good heart, but they come from different backgrounds. They have different attitudes, platitudes, and everything else. And I like having a mix because a mix is needed. The mix is needed to keep a balance, a healthy balance. We don't know what good is if we don't have bad. We don't need horrendous bad. We just need, a reminder once in a while of why we fight so hard to keep peace. So I think we've been going at it all wrong. And they say that if we started our children out in first grade with meditation alone, just meditation, we would have that generation would change the world. That's all it would take, one generation. That to me, and we're not teaching religion, we are teaching mindfulness with meditation and deep breathing so that they can be in tune and alignment with their soul, their mind and heart and source. That's it. We're already always, because we are golden light beings, we are always directly in touch with source. There is no separation for us. So stop acting like there is. We are an integral spark of consciousness, of God consciousness. And you can't take that away from us. You can't take it away. You can dim it a little bit because, we fall into the memes, the propaganda. We fall into the bullshit on TV and Hollywood and all the dramas and all the wars. And anyway, let it all go. 10 to 15 minutes a day. I swear to you, it will make a difference in your life so fast you won't. It'll make your head spin. And you'll wonder why in the hell you didn't do this a long time ago. Deep breathe for 15 minutes a day. If you can do it twice a day, that's even better. But try to do it at the same time every day. But if you can't, just let the universe know that. They'll keep an eye on you. We all have our own spirit teams that help us. There are angels, there are aliens, there are everything you can think of helping us. It's ascended masters, everything. We are special in the universe. We just simply forgot. And it's not to make us arrogant. It's to take our power back. And remember that we came here to make a difference. We came here to take this God consciousness and experience everything we could experience. and to find the things that we love and ignore the things we don't love because if you focus on the things you love, you get more of it. That's just how it is. And I am just as bad as anyone else trying to sit there and go, but I don't like this and I want it changed. Then focus on what the change would present. So that's what I'm trying to do now. It's not an easy road, but you need to get used to it. And you need to get used to thinking, if I have lived all these lifetimes to experience this realm, and most of it's been painful and full of dirge and all kinds of crap, but there's been good things too. So you need to look for those too. But there is a point where we need to stop and say, okay, well, I know the things I don't like, so I don't need to address those anymore. But I need to start really thinking, what does make me happy? Because I've had the hardest time with this. I spent most of my life in flight or fight mode because of trauma, childhood trauma. And it is, you start getting through this healing, and then finally I can relax, and finally I'm actually enjoying being alone and my peace. I've never really had it fully before, so I'm really enjoying it now. So it's worth the headache to go through to get through your traumas. And I'll try to have something more on that. If anybody's interested, let me know, and I will do a video. But until I know that people really are interested, I haven't had the oomph to do one. It is not that hard. You do have to sit with your pain, but you have to see where it's coming from. And once you see where it's coming from and why, and you observe it as the soul, our ego is just for the physical here, but our soul is what's eternal, and that is the observer. And once the observer sees it, somehow it meshes with the ego and the brain and the heart, and we let it go. We don't need it anymore, but it's something that we know we don't like, and that we can handle it maybe different now. And now we're actually a little clearer in everything, and we're deep breathing 2-3 times a day. And we're getting closer to our true self. And our true self will start looking through the history of everything we've ever done here and say, well, you really like this, you really like that, you really like that. And I'm like, yeah, I did. I really like that. I like getting my hands dirty. I like playing out in the dirt, planting gardens or planting vegetables, mostly gardens. And find what it is you love to do. I love making these art pieces that I do. And I like writing songs. And I like doing these YouTubes. I'm getting used to doing those. And I just want to share how beautiful you are with you. You need to know that you are some of the most beautiful beings in the universe. You always have been. You just weren't allowed to see it. very clearly. And it doesn't take much to love yourself. We aren't taught how to love ourselves. We aren't taught to say no correctly. We aren't taught about boundaries. And if you came from a trauma background, like I did, you don't have any clue how much your value is. You don't have any clue that what was done to you was wrong, and that kind of environment was wrong for you. However, it opened up avenues in your mind, your brain. The synapses get changed. And it usually causes empathy. You become an empath. You can feel when there's somebody negative in a room. You'll start getting a little nervous, a little jittery, and a little, your muscles start to tighten up. And all of a sudden you might talk tough, or you might say something that's way out of normal for you. That's because there's somebody in the room whose energy has the potential to be the nightmare that you grew up with. Once you understand that, then you can hone in on it, identify the being. You don't have to say anything, just identify them and stay away from them. Find a different area in the store to be in. I had this happen to me now that I've been practicing with it. And I was in Walmart. And I had to go back to the bakery section because I really wanted cheesecake. And all of a sudden, this whole overwhelmed thing came up, and I started feeling jittery, and I started feeling sick and kind of and feeling real tense. And so I stopped myself and I deep breathed 3 times. And then I press right here because it's an automatic relaxer. Your whole being will relax. It's amazing. Once I learned this trick, I was like, oh, amen. Okay. Now I'm relaxed. Now, feel where it's at, where it's coming from. You're in a big store. Let's feel where it's coming from. So I just kind of reached out with my psychic abilities, my energy, and I found it. And it was pretty far over in the store, way opposite way I was going. And I said, okay, now you know where it's at. You've identified it. Now deep breathe and go get your damn cheesecake. And by the time you get back here to check out, they should be gone. So trust your instincts because they're good to have, but learn how to listen to them, understand them, focus, find it, walk away. Find somewhere else to, hang out or do. Even when I have entities here, mostly it's my spirit team, but there is a couple that come in here, a couple different beings that have the ability to be extremely angry and violent. And I'll feel it. I'll feel myself change. And I didn't think to question it at first when I was dealing with these spirits and stuff and spirit guides and stuff. You just automatically assume you're just going to have all good guys in here. But no. Some of the bad ones are hanging out too. So learn to work with your empathy. It's a wonderful gift. And you don't want to lose it, but you don't want it to ruin your life because that is flight and fight mode. It puts you in. Your empathy can sense it's there. And it tells your brain, fight or flight. And then you tense up and you're nervous and okay, so calm yourself down, deep breathe 3 times, and trust your power and say, okay, tell your mind it's okay. Let me find out where it's at. See if we need to move. And then you reach out. And I reached out and I kind of spread my energy out like a little fan until it touches it. And it's like, yeah, it's over there. But you can tell just about how I will actually get a visual where it's at and who it is. And then I know I'm okay. It's over there. Not coming this way. I'm going that way. By the time I'm done over there and I go through checkout, that person should be gone. If not, we'll find somewhere else to go. Anyway, I just felt a need to share that with people because it's something that most trauma victims are told by psychiatrists or counselors. Oh yeah, we've heard about that. And they want to invalidate it. No, you have to learn to work with it. It's your empath skill that knows something's wrong. You have to ease your mind down because it wants to go in flight or fright mode, whatever. That's when your body starts changing. You start getting jittery or nervous, or you start feeling real tense. And you gotta go, you gotta go. No. Deep breathe. You need to learn to control it in case there is a moment where you need to go. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition will tell you, if you learn to meditate and deep breathe, 2-3 times a day for 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes a day each time. Once you start doing that, you will start making the connection for your intuitive self more knowable, override your flight or fright thing. And you'll be able to follow your intuition more because your intuition knows ahead of time where there's problems. I don't know how many times I've been driving somewhere and my intuition said, nope, make a right. Okay, I make a right. I don't know what happened. Later I might find out there was a wreck there right about the time I turned right. So, or left, or whatever. Follow your intuition. And look in the mirror every day after you meditate and say, we've got this. We've got this. I trust you. Do some work with your inner child and let your inner child know, I love you and I am so proud of you and you made it. You did it. Then let them know they can trust you to make the right decisions from here on out. And that'll take time. You have to be patient with yourself and gentle with yourself. But what I wanted you to know is how beautiful you are and you're perfect souls. You just have to learn to get how to make the soul be able to have more power in this body while it's here, and can let the mind know and the ego know, because they're useful, they're helpful, and let them know that. But let them know how you want to operate from now on, and that you want to hear positive things about yourself, and that you want to use your intuition more. So keep the flight and fright mode down a little bit. It's good that you're acting upon the empathy, because empath is something we feel by our gut, and we feel it, and it goes up to the brain, and the brain takes over, and the ego, and they all start to work together a little. But let the brain know that, hey, I want to work with my intuition more before we feel like we have to run or jump, whatever it is that you feel you got to do. Your intuition will tell you, move right, move left, stop, wait. If there's a time where you're trying to leave and you constantly forgetting something in the house, or you forget, you get all the way in the car and all set up, and then you realize, oh God, I gotta go back in the house. One day I was leaving somewhere and I had to go back in the house and realized I locked myself out of the house. So I ended up being home for another 2.5 hours. And wherever I was heading must not have been too important for me to go at that time. The universe has a way of working with you, and it will work more with you the more you show an interest of wanting to learn how to develop these skills. So develop them, because we are moving into a whole new world. It is a world that we will create together, and we will find some peace and harmony and make room for everyone, because not everyone's on the same path at the same time. We're not all moving at the same pace or the same life path. So we have to give people chances to get caught up, But we do that by being the example, not by being mad or picky with them. We might have to leave them to their own, attitudes for a while. But they have a right to take their time and see what's happening. They'll have heard it because there's plenty of us out here talking about it. But they're going to need just a positive encouragement now and then step away. Because our right to have our life fun and happy and healthy and creative and just ours, however we want to be, and be your most authentic self, which means you're coming from your heart. Your personality is going to stay the same. It'll be softer and gentler. It will be more fun. It'll be more laughter and more excitement and more interesting things to talk about. So trust yourself a little more every day, to love yourself a little more every day. And when you finally get to yourself, when you look in that mirror, every time I look in the mirror and see myself, whether I got my teeth in or I haven't had a shower in a day, my hair's a mess, it doesn't matter what I look like. I look in those eyes and I smile real big. I say, you got this shit. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. And we do. And I see how beautiful I am with makeup or without. With good dress clothes on or my usual men's shirt and work shirt and jeans. I like to be comfortable at home. And because I'm an artist, for one thing, and I'm going to either wood carve or I'm going to paint or I'm going to tear up something else. And, I'm ADHD too, so I get sidetracked with other projects. So it's fun. It's always fun around here because you never know what's going to happen next. But anyway, figure out what it is you love. It's taken me a long time to figure out and get to, instead of all the things I had to do and all the hats I wore, child, athlete, mother, wife a couple times, grandmother. And now all these things are gone. I've now since retired, and that's been a trip in itself. But the thing is, I had to stop and think, what does make me happy? Because I've lived my whole life for other people. And Lord knows I've let God use me wherever I was. If I was needed and God directed me to someone, I let him come through, the Holy Spirit. And I've always done this. And so I told God, I said, I really don't know what I like to do. I feel embarrassed. I like a lot of things. But what would really make me happy? I'd like to go on a helicopter ride. I'd like to learn how to fly one, actually. It'll have to wait a while because, that could be a lot of money. But my uncle who flies airplanes, he goes, well, Lori, that's the most expensive one to learn how to fly. And I said, well, I can't help it. That's what I like. My mom always said I had a champagne taste, fine champagne taste, not bubbly crap. And beer budget. It really was less than a beer budget. So anyway, and two-thirds of the world understands that, so I don't feel bad about it. And know that this universe will see to your needs. And if you trust a little more, it'll see to more, whatever you're willing to allow in. I've always said, question the universe, question God. They tell you not to, so that's the first thing I did. Well, first thing I did, but because I talk to God all the time. But I did question God. I asked him to prove himself to me that he was listening. Now I know he uses other people to, answer those kind of things, but he one-upped me on that one that day. He knew I was going to ask this question. He used my dad to do the silly movement things that I wanted done, and I asked him to do 3 things. I said, okay, I believe you're listening. And then my dad comes out one more time. He's got a stack of books, 3 books, because I'd been carrying on about this one couple subjects with God. I was 12 or 13, and I had asked, how in God's name, no offense, but how do you expect us to believe and make this huge choice between good and bad, heaven or hell, if in one lifetime? How do we do that? Because it isn't so much a question of, well, we know what's right or wrong. It's a question of, there is so many different emotions to feel here. There is so many different things to feel and experience. And how do we do this all in one lifetime? And then I was asking him about something else, and about aliens and spirit guides, and then I guess something about money. But anyway, these 3 books my dad brings out to me. He goes, these fell out at the bookstore last week on the floor when I was looking for books. He goes, so I figured they were for somebody, and I got the feeling they're for you. I said, thanks. And I waited for him to go back to watch the football game. And I'm looking at him, and one is Florence Scovel Shinn, Your Word is Your Wand. And then the other one was They Walk Among Us, Aliens Walk Among Us. And then the other one was Many Lifetimes. So God went up to me on that day. He went up to me by having books prepared for the questions I was going to have in the first friggin' place. He knew ahead. And so he knew I was going to question him. And he made sure that he put the icing on the cake, so to speak. So make a relationship with God. It's a personal relationship. And this universe will turn its head and its many, many helpers to be there for you on whatever you want to know or whatever you want to do. Don't be afraid. Listen to God. And you'll know, because I'll tell you one thing. This is a sure bet fire. The only way you'll know is that God and your angels and aliens, whatever you want to call them, spirit team. It's probably the easiest thing to go by. They will never tell you to do anything wrong. Nothing. They will never tell you to do anything negative unless it's for self-defense. And we are allowed to defend ourselves, even to the death, if need be. That's something they don't want to teach you, because the rulers don't like us. So anyway, I'm not going to go into any of that. We'll just leave it there. But the whole point is, you are beautiful beings, and you are a powerhouse of fire and passion and life force that is unreal. So start tuning into it and know your value. Find a buddy if you need to work on things with you. Find a good hypnotherapist. They're really good. And get through your stuff quicker. It helps. And then you might even do some regression work and find out that some of the things that you're feeling that don't make any sense are from a past life. Those many lifetimes come in handy. What we're trying to do is clear out all the guttural crap that we keep, the garbage, the luggage, they call it, baggage. But we're just trying to clear it out so we can be us. And we are fun, and we are goofy, and we are nerds, and we are all kinds of things that there aren't enough words for. And I wish we'd quit coming up with new ones for everything, because it's really, on an older person, it really gets to be hell trying to keep up with all the new generation's lingo. But anyway, I try. I call my granddaughter if I need to. So anyway, I just had that to say today. Love yourself enough to love another more. Find boundaries, because you are worthy of good boundaries. And you can walk this trip alone if need be. But you talk to God and you tune in with that meditating, that deep breathing every day. Because in that silence, God whispers. He doesn't yell. I mean, I've been yelled at once, but we got a pretty good rapport. He whispers. The universe, when it speaks, it whispers. So it might be a sign you'll see on the road. It might be a stranger you're hearing talking in a conversation behind you or at the bus station or wherever, you know. You get the point. It could be a song that comes on the radio. They used to do that a lot with me because I do a lot with music as far as messages and stuff. So I just want you to love yourselves enough to love another more. And doesn't mean you have to love someone more than loving yourself. If they aren't giving back to you the same thing, no, they have to go. You need someone that's on your level. It's okay to be giving in a relationship. There's going to be give and take, and you know, it balances out in the long run. But if they're a taker or an abuser, you don't deserve to be there. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl, and you know, and you get a partner that is abusive. That's wrong. And empaths tend to attract that because that's what they're used to. So you tune in privately and silently with God once or twice a day. If you have to do it in your car, do it in the bathtub, whatever. They don't like it when we do it in the bathtub, but anyway, wherever you got to, so that you're alone with God, Source, and your angels, spirit team. And know that anyone that has passed over that you love is rooting for you every day. And if you, once you start this communication with Source and the higher mind, the higher power, then they're allowed to come in and help you too now and then. So just know that your loved ones, they love you and they watch over you the best they can. And they're there to hold you when you need it. Same with your favorite pets. Oh, some of them will lie to you about it, but really your pets are there. I know it for a fact. And that's all I got for right now. Enjoy the weather and pray for everyone on the planet. And love. That love is the only thing that will get us through all of this together. And we have to be together because that's the way it is in the universe. We already belong to one. We don't need to hook up to anything electronic. We're already one with Source. We are the divine beings on this planet. You need to know that. You are a divine being. You are a super consciousness. That's why we can become super beings if we want to. So when we become a superhuman, all right, let's do it. Rock and roll. But you got to go through all the processes first before we go there. So get going on the processes. Clear your energy field. Clear your heart. Clear your mind. Get a handle on your skills. And if you ever need me, my email is always in the description. And I'll see you next time. Lori out. Bye.